This lesson is how to do conversion factors for Clear Horizons Early College High School students. We're using our homework, which is a conversion factor practice sheets 1, 2, and 3. You will need this packet as well as page 3B in your class notebook. It includes the conversion factors that you're going to be choosing to use in each of your problems. You might need to add this one. And you also need to change this one to have a 1.621 miles because 2 sig figs is too small. That just was a typo. The other thing you'll need is a calculator. Please do the calculations yourself. It's very, very critical that you know how to type them in and get the right answer. The bottom line for conversions is just like if I had 12 inches is in 1 foot and I want to know how many inches are in 2 feet, I would just simply multiply by 2. I've used a conversion. So it's the same thing. I'm going to do a couple odd and a couple even just to kind of help you out. The bottom line is your conversion will look something like this. For example, in number 3, they give you 31 gallons and they want how many liters that will be. Well, I start with what I'm given. You always start with what you're given. And then this symbology here, or this way of writing it down, is the same as if I had fractions. 31 over 1 in parentheses times 4 over 4 quarts over 1 gallon in parentheses times this. So it'd be the same as if you multiplied several fractions in parentheses. It's just this way of writing it is a little bit faster because you do a lot of these. Anything in the numerator can cancel with anything in the denominator, even if it's not right next to it, but it's helpful to go ahead and put it next to it if you can. So in this case, we started with 31 gallons, and we want to find a conversion that goes from gallons to liters. Well, we don't have one conversion that goes from gallons to liters when you look on page 3B. You have several conversions, so you can go from gallons to quarts, and then quarts to milliliters, and milliliters to liters. So you end up taking 3 steps to get from gallons to liters. That's okay. It might take several steps. So my gallons canceled, my quarts canceled, my milliliters canceled, and I got liters. Again, we got these numbers from page 3B. When you type it into your calculator, you get this answer here, but this is something called calculator vomit. It's a lot of information that tells you that you have all this precision that you really don't have. You only measured 31 gallons. That was a rounded number. So it could have been 30.5 or 31.2. We don't really know. We just know it's somewhere around 31 gallons. So my answer cannot be more precise than 2 sig figs. So I take my answer, because this is in 2 sig figs, and I convert my answer into only 2 sig figs. It is absolutely critical that you show your work, that you calculate it with the right sig figs, and that you have the correct units. If all of those are not correct, you get no credit. So make sure you're getting into the habit of showing your work. The next one looks like this. We have they were given 0.480 kilograms, and they want to find milligrams. Well, there's no conversion in your page 3B unless you knew it off the top of your head. You had kilograms here and milligrams here, but there wasn't anything that went directly from kilograms to milligrams. So we went from kilograms to grams and then grams to milligrams. So the grams was kind of like the bridge that got us from here to here. So when you put that information in, be sure that your kilograms are on the bottom so that you can cancel. And my grams are on the bottom on this side so it can cancel with what's up here. When I multiply my numerators, I get this number. I multiply the denominators, I happen to get 1. And then I need it in only 3 significant figures because that's what my problem was given. So in order to get this number to be 3 significant figures, I have to put it in scientific notation. 1, 2, 3. The decimal is present, so I start from the Pacific Ocean side and I count 3. There's 3 significant figures. I moved my decimal 5 spots, so it's a 5, and it's positive because this is a large number. I would like to win it in the lottery, so it's a positive thing. Again, remember sig figs, remember your units, remember to show your work. Otherwise, you get no credit. Let's look. Page B, or page 2, is very similar to page 1. This person, they asked for, they had 56 liters of gasoline and they wanted to know how many gallons. When you looked at page 3, B, there's nothing that goes directly from liters to gallons. So I start with what I was given, and then I can go from liters to milliliters, milliliters to quarts, and quarts to gallons. And I get this number in the numerator and a different number in the denominator. Keep in mind that these are exact, there are infinite number of significant figures. There's 1,000 milliliters exactly in 1,000 liters. There's exactly 1 quart and 946 milliliters. So this is 3 sig figs, but this is infinite. This is infinite, and this is infinite sig figs. So when you look at 3 sig figs and 2 sig figs, the least number is what your answer can be in. Your answer can only have 2 sig figs because that's the least number. So I get this calculator vomit, and then I have to round it so that I only have 2 sig figs in my answer. Make sure you don't forget your units. That's very important. Okay, let's look at the last page. The last page can be a little bit more tricky because it has units on the top and on the bottom. The first one's not too hard. Tom is driving in France. He wants to know how much 125 kilometers per hour would be in miles per hour. So when I write kilometers per hour, I write kilometers in the numerator and hour in the denominator. Okay, so now I want to change from kilometers to miles. I happen to have that conversion on page 3B, so I can easily look at that. Please make sure there's a 1 right here. It's very important that there's a 1. So 0.621 miles in each kilometer. I put the kilometers on the bottom so that I can cancel these, and I end up with miles in the numerator and hours in the denominator. So I get 77.5 miles per hour. Well, if you look, this has 3 significant digits. This has 3 significant digits. This is infinite because it's exactly a kilometer. So my answer is this. Let's do another one on the last page because these are kind of tricky. Okay. Let's do number 4 because that's an even number. Fingernails grow at a rate of 0.12 millimeters per day. If Freddie let his fingernails grow for a year, how much would they increase? So let's start with what we're given. Okay, 0.12 millimeters per day. Okay, and they want to know how long would they be in inches, okay, and also a year. So we want to go from days to years. So there's 365.25 days in a year because of leap year in 1 year. Okay, there's a quarter of a year. And you could do it the other way if you want to. It'll work out. He does it for 1 year. That's given information. That was given, so we get to put that in there. So my years cancel and my days cancel. Okay, but he also wants to change his millimeters into inches. So you're not just converting the denominator or the numerator, you're converting both units. So in this case, I want to find a conversion factor that goes from millimeters to inches. So when I go to page 3B, all right, I can see that an inch is 2.54 centimeters, and I should know that there's 1 centimeter and 10 millimeters, so those are the conversions. It's going to take 2 steps to do that. So there's 10 millimeters and 1 centimeter. Now I can cancel this with this, even though they're far apart, because one's in the numerator and one's in the denominator, so I'm okay. This is an exact amount, this is an exact amount, this is an exact amount, this is exact, so we don't have any sig figs to worry about except for the given information. So I want to go from centimeters to inches. Okay, so 2.54 centimeters are in 1 inch exactly. This is exactly, this is 3 sig figs. So my centimeters cancel. When I do this, it's kind of close together. When I do this math, excuse me, I get 43.83 over 25.4 inches. That's my answer. But I have to be careful about my sig figs. I only have 2 sig figs here, 5 here, infinite, 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 3. So 2, 3, and 5. The least number of those 3 numbers is 2. So I can only have 2 inches, 2 sig figs. So I'm going to round this number to be 1.7 inches with 2 sig figs. Don't forget your units, don't forget your sig figs, and you have to show your work. Let's do an odd one for my other students. Let's do number 5. If a rocket car consumed 35.8 gallons of gasoline per minute, how many liters per second is it consuming? So we're going to start with 35.8 gallons per minute. And I want to change gallons to liters and minutes to seconds. Up here, I happen to do the denominator unit first instead of the numerator. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in. You can pick either one. This time, let's start with our gallons and go to liters. So we already know that we can't go straight there because we've done that many times in this lesson, and it'll be on the homework many, many times. You actually have to go from gallons to quarts, then from quarts to milliliters, and then from milliliters to liters. All I did here was use conversions to get myself from gallons to liters, okay? Then I need to go from minutes to seconds. So I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So I'm going to convert my minutes to seconds, and when I put it in the calculator, I'm going to get a big number, 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, 7 over 60,000 seconds. Okay, so that's how many liters per second. Now, how many sig figs can my answer be? Let's go back and look. I have 3 sig figs here. This is infinite. This is 3. This is infinite. This is infinite. This is exact, so it's infinite. There's exactly 60 seconds. So I only get 3 sig figs in my answer. So when I type it in my calculator and round it, you should get 2.26 liters per second. And that's how you do it. All right. What's important for each one of these is that you start with what's given, no matter what the problem is. You start with what's given in the problem. You find a conversion that can get the numerator units where you want it to be and the denominator units where you want it to be. Once you get your answer, round it to the correct sig figs. Like this one has 2, so it's usually going to be that. Don't forget your units, otherwise it's completely wrong without your units. Be sure to look at section 2.3 in your textbook, and it also has example problems for you. Good luck.